Welcome to Comadres Adulting,
a podcast that centers our lived experiences as two women of color from South Central LA.
Get your mommies and tias because we are going to have some heavy conversations sin pelos en la lengua.
We hope that in each episode you will feel seen as we discuss feminism, healing, and other issues that have been long overlooked.
I am your comadre Maria.
And I am your comadre Lucia.
And this is Comadres Adulting.
What episode was it? 4 or 5?
5.
Shit, I don't know.
It was intro, It was college, it was money moves, and it was jobs our parents had, and it was that extra episode that doesn't count.
Okay, so that's 5.
So it's 5.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, good. Okay. Welcome everyone. This is episode 5 of Comadres Adulting. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the jobs we had while we were in college. So, hello Maria.
Hey Lucy,
What's
how are
up?
you?
I'm doing good. So today we're going to be talking about the jobs we had in college. So would you like to tell us a little bit about the jobs you had?
Yeah, so in college, I had lots of different jobs. When I accepted Smith, came with a acceptance letter for the Ames Scholars, which gave me the opportunity to do research alongside a professor and get paid to do psychology research. Right, so I did that. I was supposed to do that for 2 years, but I didn't really like doing soma coding, and I didn't like doing the bench research. So I actually only did a year, and then I looked for another job on campus for my second year. And then throughout the summers, I would stay and worked reunions. So for those of y'all who don't know, reunions is basically when alumni from colleges come back after 5, 10, 15 years after graduating. And we basically work to create Smith into a very nice environment for them. Like we'll do their beds, or we'll do waitressing for them and stuff like that. So I did that, and that allowed me to get around 1K extra so that when I would come here, I had a little bit of more extra money. I also babysat a lot for professors and also staff at Smith. That money got paid in cash, so I didn't have to worry about taxes, and it was paid actually pretty well. And then my last year at Smith, I worked in the Human Resources office, and I also TA'd for a history course. I think that's it.
That was it? Okay.
Yeah, in terms of my jobs, as it pertains to work study. My internships were different, but we can talk about that a little bit later. What about you? What jobs did you do for work study?
Yeah, so just like you, I think I remember now that I worked multiple jobs at a particular time there. The Lee, Massachusetts has a lower wage. Is that true? Yeah, right? A lower wage. So I remember when I first got there was $8.75 the hour.
Yeah.
So I started off at the dining halls, just washing dishes, and I would take the night shift, which was pretty fun. I really like doing the night shifts. We would close out, and then I transitioned into doing research with the professor. Again, it was a stipend that they would give us every couple months. I love doing research, but I don't think it was what I wanted to do, and it was just really difficult. And I think just having that imposter syndrome, I'm not good enough to be in this lab, and my professor was a really smart woman who had gone to Smith, summa cum laude in chemistry, had gotten her PhD at Caltech, and I was whoa, this lady is taking me under her wing, and I'm here messing up any experiment I have on my hands. I was fuck, I don't know. I honestly sometimes weird thoughts. I'm doing random things, and I'm yeah, that experiment I did the opposite thing, but she will never know. And so I sometimes feel dumb still, and I wish I could go back, but it is what
How
it
do
is.
researchers do it when they're creating the next vaccine? Maybe that's why we don't have the COVID vaccine right now.
I'm pretty sure they're more qualified than I was. So that I did that, and I also babysat. I remember babysitting for these 2 little boys. They were so cute. They were 13 and 9. They were on their best behavior. I would just come in, eat snacks with them, and then let them do what they had to do and
Tell us what happened.
Work. So one day they let me have the keys to the van, send me to do some errands, and I backed up because, believe it or not, they have no lights on the street. Middle class, rich
Suburban
areas have no lights, no street lights. It's not here in the hood where everything is you know where you are. No,
helicopters
it
come.
was dark, so I backed up and I hit the neighbor's car, but they had insurance, so they were pretty good, and they allowed me to continue driving the van, so that was like really nice of them.
I also have a funny babysitting story. So I used to babysit 2 kids. I think one was around 8. I would pick him up from like the local bus stop. I don't know if I told you the story already. And the little girl was like 10 or 11, and I would always cook for them. But one time they were bored, and so they had very limited access to TV. The professor would be like, please don't let them read a book. Well, they were in my laptop, and we were just like watching. I think we even put like America's Funniest Videos or something like that. And it turns out that the professor walks in, and all she hears is moaning.
Oh.
And so in my laptop, all you hear is like that, because there is this prank that they're doing where the grandma is basically asleep. Grandchild walks to her, she's snoring, and like starts making moaning sounds. You know, you want to get the reaction that grandma's gonna slap him or something like that. Well, she walks in during that same moment.
What?
God, I was like, trágame tierra y escúpeme. I even had to follow up with an email being like, I understand what this looks like, but you can like ask them.
It was
no, nothing. She's like, I completely trust your sense of judgment. Like, I know you would never do that, or like watch anything inappropriate. Like, don't worry. And like, I kept on babysitting and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it was just like, never again was I like, here, you can watch whatever you want on YouTube, because you just never. And it was like one of those videos where like it wasn't a video, it was like it was a clip.
Yeah, a compilation.
You're right, a compilation of clips. So I didn't know what was gonna come out next.
Yeah.
Right, but just it triggered me to that moment.
That's so funny.
But why did you decide to take jobs? Because we went to really, I guess, affluent schools where not everyone worked.
Oh no.
Right?
No.
And if some people worked, it was like in the library where they were allowed to do their homework. Like those later on, right? Not your first year. Later on, you realize those are the smart jobs to get.
Yeah.
Right? But why did you have to work?
Well, at first, just to have money on the side. I think that was it. Like, I'm the oldest of 4, so when I left, I just kind of wanted to be a little bit more independent. I had everything, I will say. Like, I was very lucky. Like, we always had like food all the time. Like, I never had to swipe. And that was like really nice, but then at the same time you wanted to go out and explore. Like, I wanted to go out in the city with my friends and have some money, and it cost like $6 to go in and out, or I don't remember how much. I think it was like $6 to take the bus out into the city and then come back. So just having that extra money that we would have, and but I just didn't want my parents to give me money. And I think sometimes senior year, junior year, I was like 100% like almost independent from them. So,
yeah. And your $2 bill from your dad?
Oh, okay. So the story that I told Maria was that I don't remember what summer it was when my dad gave me, or I think when I was gonna go, he gave me a $2 bill, and he was like, no matter, he's like, one day if you're ever really, really broke, you don't have anything, you at least have money to like buy yourself a coffee. And just like this metaphor of like, coffee's gonna give you the energy you need to keep on working. But I still have the $2 bill, and I still keep it because I told myself, no matter how broke you are, you'll never like spend those $2. So that's my little story on that.
Same. I think that I also did it because I didn't want to like ask for money, especially we were so far away that I never got homesick while at Smith. I would call my parents like maybe once every 2 weeks. And so for me, like to call back home and just be like, hey, I need money, like it just wasn't, I just felt a certain type of way. So that's why I worked to be sort of financially independent, even though there were times that I struggled and I had no other choice but to call dad and be like, hey, I need $100 or something. And so I told you how once I was at the campus center, I had bought in a breakfast sandwich. It was already cooked, like me lo habían dado ya in aluminum foil. And then I go in and I try to pay with my debit card, and I don't know qué se habían cobrado, but I didn't have $2.75 in my credit card, in my debit card. I didn't have credit cards at that time. And I had to call my best friend to come and bail me out and be like, hey, I'm so sorry. I know you're probably sleeping because it's 9, but like, ya me dieron el sandwich. So she came and she bailed me out. So thank you, Kenya, so much for that. But shit like that happens all the time, you know? Yeah. And then do you want to tell us a little bit about your summer internships? How would you choose those internships and why did you do them?
Let me remember. Yes. So like the summer, I always just try to have something backed up for me. My first summer I did research again with Professor Megan Nunez. That's when she first took me under her wing. I just really loved her for doing that for me because you know I learned a lot from her. Then a second summer I taught here with Community Coalition, which is like an org here in South Central. And I have worked again last summer. I was again a teacher for their virtual learning summer program, and so I have like really good contacts with them, and I just love the work they do for the kids. They always like do really amazing work.
Yeah, they do. They're part of our organization too.
Yeah. And my third summer, what did I do? Oh, I went to Argentina to do biomedical scientific research, and I had the best time of my life. I miss it. I wish I could go back. There's like not one day that I don't think about when I was abroad there.
I know.
So, and again, I made a lot of good connections with the people there, and just people always taking me under their wing. God knows why. Yeah. What about you?
My first summer, I came here to UCLA and did a 2-month fellowship program. It was called the UCLA Summer and Dental Medical Program, SNDP, and at that time I was still like on track to to go to medical school. It wasn't paid, but they did provide like room, board, and even a stipend to eat lunch and stuff like that. And I met really great friends whom I still keep in contact now, just as colleagues. My second year, I worked for Latinas for Reproductive Justice, part of the CLIP fellowship. Getting to that interview was so hard. My dumbass didn't for some reason it was snowing and I decided to wear heels, and I got on the bus and my feet were freezing.
Oh God.
It was here in LA? No, the interview was over there in person at Hampshire College. So I had to catch
interview
was here. California. Yeah, it's in Koreatown. But my interview was over there, and it was just a struggle to get there, to the point that I'm like, damn, if you don't get this, that was a big ass sacrifice. It was pretty competitive. I think it was over 1,125 application for 40 spots.
Wow.
So I don't know how I got that.
That's crazy.
And then my third year, I worked for Dream Summer, doing union work at SEIU UHW, United Healthcare Workers. And I really loved that summer. It was doing a lot of community engagement, outreach, so much that I thought, and that's solely what I applied to upon graduating from Smith.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So for my counseling, and I mentioned in the past how I fell into it, but I thought it was going to go the organizing way.
Oh.
Looking back now, I'm like, okay, that would have been hella tiring, right?
Yes.
But like way compared to how you get overworked as an organizer. But yeah, I was attracted to like very social justice oriented.
That's the thing with social justice work. They're just overworked, which is like the irony of what social justice stands around. And
especially working for a union.
Union and a nonprofit, period.
Yeah.
They do a lot of work, and I think they do the work. I just like teaching. You do the work because you love doing it. But even as a teacher, I would never step foot as an organizer. I admire people who organize.
Same, yeah.
But the good thing about organizing, I mean, anyone who's an organizer watching, is the connections that they make.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people that I knew that have organized that end up doing bigger things because just of the homage they have to do and all the people that they have to talk to.
Right, so interdisciplinary. If you can talk to people, be a good communicator and a good speaker, you're pretty much set on any career. Yeah. yeah, so reflecting on this, internships were really important. It provided us with the ability to do soft skills and also really a way for us to create our path. Like, I know so many of my friends who are consultants, but that's because they've had internships with like big companies and stuff like that. So college is like the perfect time where you can sort of map out what you want to do upon graduating. Sometimes it doesn't fall that way. Like for me, I thought I was going to go straight into organizing work, and that didn't happen. So you just never know. But
yeah,
you can definitely make it happen.
Yeah, I don't think that worked with me because I did a lot of research during my time in college, and that's the last place I want to be.
Yeah.
Other thing, reflecting on this is just, I think also the privilege that we had because Wellesley Smith, they have their own grants. And not every college has that. I cannot imagine myself having had all these opportunities, working close to professors, if I were to go to a UC or to another school. It's just the amount of like close relationships you build that I don't think I would have had it anywhere else.
Yeah. And the fact that like you go ahead, you're proactive, you look for your internship, you email the professor in Argentina, and Wellesley's like, okay, here's some money, úsalo for whatever you want, your flight, and then the autonomy that you're given is it's so great. Like as long as you do your work and you turn in your report at the end of the
summer,
you're fine. Yeah.
So and then, because we work closely with professors, we're able to ask those letters of rec. And when I ask letters of rec, within a day or two, they're already answering. And
just because, we built those really close relationships with them.
Well, that's it for today's episode on the jobs that we had as college students. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Comment what type of jobs you had at school and why you worked those jobs. And thank you once again for watching. This is your comadre Lucia.
And this is your comadre Maria. And this was Comadres Adulting.
Thank you for tuning in, everyone.
If you have any questions, comments, or want to share your experience, please do so by emailing us at comadresadulting@gmail.com. I am your comadre Maria.
And I am your comadre Lucia.
And this was Comadres Adulting.